Hey everyone, this is virtually BGCMC and I'm Mr. Jonathan. We're going to be drawing Ariel from the Little Mermaid today. And this is the Halle Bailey version, the new live action actress. And even though we're drawing a cartoon version, we're still going to do our best to try to make it look like her. So we're going to start off here with a circle for the head. As usual, try to start off very lightly. And for the neck, we're going to go down here, just straight down from the bottom of the circle. You don't have to make it too long. At the end of these lines, we're going to go down this way for the shoulders, doing our best to keep it even. Okay. So this drawing, well, we're starting off with our basic shapes, but when we get into our details, we're going to work with a pattern throughout this design. And that pattern is going to be all these curvy, flowy lines. So the purpose of that is to make the drawing look like it's nice and flowy and she's underwater and swimming. Now we got this shape going down here for the body, going into the waist, and from the outsides we're going to draw the tail going down this way. You could make the tail posed in any way you want, really. I'm gonna have it tilting this way a little bit so it looks like everything is flowing off to the side that way. But if you want to, say, curl your tail going one way or the other, or even just make it going straight down, you could do that. I think the trick here is to really just try to be smooth with your lines and make nice smooth curves like this. Okay. So once you get down close to the tip of your tail, what we're going to do first is make a basic shape for the fin before we start putting all these flowy patterns in place. So if we get our basic shapes in here first, it's going to be a lot easier later on to get all these patterns in place. Okay, while we're making our basic shapes, let's go ahead and get the curve of the arms going down this way. We're going to go down here and down here. Okay, just starting from the shoulders, going down this way, and then from inside the body, going out. All right, so we're gonna get a few more, we're gonna get into the details actually, and while we're drawing the details, we're still gonna add a few basic shapes along the way. But first, I wanna get my midlines in here. So I got the vertical midline in and the horizontal midline. These are gonna help me place all the features in the face. Got a little extra line going here, let me get rid of that. Okay. So from here, this actress has a lot of really unique features that we're going to try to capture. And I think it just makes for a cool looking character when we translate them here into this kind of style. So we're going to start here with the hairline, and what we want is this little point here in the middle. So we're going to go down this way and this way. Okay. And the end of these curves, I'm bringing it down past, just a little bit past the horizontal midline. You can see on this little corner, I'm covering it up just a tiny bit. Going up here as well. Okay. And then for the hair, we're gonna get this little strand going out this way. This is, we're drawing this because it's covering up the ears. That's why we haven't drawn any ears. So we're covering up the ears with this little strand of hair going up. And as I go back up here, you don't want to bring it all the way back to the circle. Okay. Still keeping it light because there might be some adjustments I want to make later on. Okay, and then we're doing the same for this side. Notice how they're both flowing in the same direction as well. Okay. Then moving up here to the top of the hair, I'm going to go right where the midline meets the top of the circle, and I'm going to flow the hair going out this way, keeping it very close to the edge of the circle. And as I go out here, I want to get a shape going down this way and then up and back around to the body. Notice how the basic shape of the hair is coming into kind of a point here, even though it's still curved. Then what I'm going to do is picture the hair going all the way up and around here on this side and meeting up with this strand of hair here. Okay. And then here, go back up to the top and then just curve this around. And I'm going to meet it up with this strand of hair. So it goes right into the strand like that. Okay. All right. So keep in mind, this is still a basic shape of the hair. We're going to add some details in a little bit, but let's get the features of the face in place first. So with the eyes, I'm going to get the top edge of the eyes right on the midline. And notice how far away the eyes are from the vertical midline. You see all that space there? That's what you want. So I'm starting off with this shape, starting with a top curve here, and then just going down here on the corner. Same thing on this side. That might be a little bit too close to the side of the head, so let me bring it in just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, we can get the eyebrows in place. I'm gonna go ahead and start making my lines a little bit darker. What that means is that these lines are gonna be part of the final drawing. So I'm really just sealing in these parts as we go. The eyes, we're gonna get the iris in place here like this. Not really an oval, it's kind of like a rectangle but with rounded corners. I'm gonna put a highlight here where the light is bouncing off the eyes. So that's gonna be the brightest part of the eyes. And then here is gonna be the pupil, the darkest part. So I'm gonna shade this in nice and dark here. Do the same thing on this side as well. All right. I do wanna make sure I darken up the eyelids here. And you want the top eyelid to be pretty thick, pretty bold, dark line like that. And then as we go down here on this side, it doesn't have to be as bold as the top. Okay, and do the same thing here. Then what I want to do is the iris here is the colored part of the eyes. And since I'm only shading here, what I want to do, I'm not working with color. What I want to do is make sure this is a lighter shade than the pupil so you could see a difference between the two. So it doesn't look like one just big blob. Okay, there we go. The nose, we're going to come down here to the vertical midline, just a little bit below the eye level. We're going to start with a straight line. Actually, there's a really slight curve to this line here. And then on each end, we're just going to go up a tiny bit. Okay, so that's our nose. Here, for the mouth, the top part, we're going to make a bit of a straight line going across and then down this way on each side. We're making the mouth nice and wide open like she's singing, which really is one of the things that the character and the actress is known for, the singing. And we got the bottom part of the mouth here. We'll get some teeth in here, just coming down this way, going across. So it looks like she has a nice big smile while she's singing her songs here. Okay, then we'll get some shading in here for the mouth. You can go as dark as you want or as light as you want in the shading here. It's really up to you. And what would be even better is after you follow along with the drawing, if you want to add color on your own. Really, the drawing is could be just the start. If you want to add color, other characters, a background, and just really make this drawing however you want to make it, put your own creativity to it, that would be even better. All right, so from here, let's move on. We'll get the shirt in place here. The top, we'll get this shape going across, and then this shape here on the bottom. We're gonna start putting in these curly patterns or wavy patterns that I was talking about. And as we go across, you can fit in as many curves as you want, make them as big or as small as you want. There's no really right or wrong here. Just find what fits for your drawing. So we'll get them going across the waist there. We'll get some going, or actually the top here, and then the waist here, we'll get some going down to there, and then going up this way, same thing. Notice this line that we drew in the beginning, it was just a guideline, so it's not going to be part of the final drawing. We are going to get rid of that later. But as we go down here, we're going to follow the tail, and then we get to the end of the fin, and then here we're going to add some more of those curves. Get down to here, and then add some more. There we go. And then here towards the bottom, we're going to add more curves. This is dividing the main part of the tail and the fins. Okay, let me get rid of some of these guidelines now so this drawing starts to look a little bit more clear, and then we'll get all the final details in place. So this part of the circle that we drew in the beginning, we don't need anymore because the hair we have in place. These midlines as well, we don't need. Okay. And if you don't want to get rid of all these guidelines, you don't have to. And if you just want to get rid of some, you could do that as well. It's all up to you. Just notice that for my drawing, like I said before, everything that's dark is going to be part of the final drawing. Everything I leave light is not meant to be part of the final drawing. Actually, you know what? This line here, we are supposed to keep because that divides the wavy pattern with the main part of the tail. There we go. That looks better. All right, so I'm gonna get the hands in place. This could be kind of tricky, but here's an easy way you could do it. From the ends of the arms, if you draw this little shape here, like this, kind of like a spatula is how I'm picturing it, right, at the end of the arm. And then from here, you could draw your thumb coming out from the bottom. And this flat part here, this is where all the fingers are going to come out of. Okay. Just like that. And this part was just the guideline, so we are going to get rid of that in a little bit. Just let me draw the other arm here, or the other hand. Any guideline that you draw, make sure you draw it very lightly so that when it is time to erase, erasing will be a lot easier. And even if you don't want to erase, if you draw these guidelines lightly enough, then once you make your other lines around it nice and dark and bold, then those guidelines just kind of fade into the background. They're still there, but you just don't notice them as much. Okay, now I'm going to darken up the head shape here. And then the final details we'll get in for the hair. So here, starting from the middle, I'm going to draw a line going dark, and then I'm actually going to go out this way, past that line we drew originally. And then I'm going to go back to it and darken this up here and this here. Okay. Same thing on this side. Just make sure these lines are nice and bold. And then, pretty similar to how we drew these curved patterns on the fin, we're going to follow the edge of the hair, and as we get to here, then we can add the curves to the hair. Okay. And again, you could add as many or as little as you want. Make them as thin or as thick as you want as well. And this kind of shows also, you see here, that guideline for the hair that I drew in the start. It's still there, but with all these in place, you don't really notice the guidelines as much. So there, I'm not going to erase them. Over here, I am going to erase though, because it's looking a little bit sloppy. Okay, and then the very last part, we'll just add these extra fins here on the side and here. Give it one last check. Make sure I didn't forget anything. And let me get rid of these. So there you have it, everybody. The Halle Bailey version of Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Hope you enjoyed the drawing. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you at the next draw along. Bye, everyone. Thanks again.